Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanubhishtam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyamburu Pamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Karunyam Niyogacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismirahasra Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Brindayi Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradhatama Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitrila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtota Rasata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev. And to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru Nitrila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtota Rasata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaja, and to all Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. Now we begin with the chapter 4, Chaturtha Yama Sadhana, Madhyana Kalya Bhajan, Ruchi Bhajan, from the second prahara until 3.5 praharas, approximately 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So, Madhyana Kalya Bhajan. Madhyana means middle. So, from the midday, around midday. Therefore, it is from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Yeah. And it is equivalent to the stage of Ruchi. Ruchi means taste. Now, text 1. A Nama Sadhaka has no desire other than unadulterated devotional service to Shri Krishna, Ahaituki Krishna Bhakti. The 4th verse of Shikshastaka states, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama janmani jamanishware bhavatad bhaktira haituki tvai. O Jagadish, I do not desire wealth, nor followers, nor do I desire beautiful poetry. O Praneshwara, my only desire is to have unalloyed devotion unto your lotus feet, birth after birth. So this is the related verse from Shikshastakam, number 4. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. Bhakti only appears in the heart when one performs Harinama Kirtan with firm faith, Shraddha. But the sadhaka's perfected body will not arise unless he gives up all connection with sensual happiness in this material world. So this is a very important point. So very clear Gurudev is saying that unless you have given up all the sensual happiness, means related to all your senses, your spiritual body cannot manifest. This is very difficult. This is not so easy. So, and many people, they think, oh, if I enter in married life, grihastashram, then it is very difficult. It's not about entering grihastashram or not. The point is that you have to give up all the sensual happiness, be you in renounced life or in married life. So Then Gurudev is saying, this renunciation of sensual happiness takes place in two ways. The positive one, anvaya, and the negative one, vyatireka. Here, anvaya refers to the prominent characteristic of devotion, which is the cultivation of activities favorable to Shri Krishna, anukulyamoy Krishna anushilanam. Vyatireka refers to the two secondary characteristics of devotion, which are, first, the absence of desire for anything other than the pleasure of Shri Krishna, means anyabilashita shunyam, and second, the absence of the coverings of karma and jnana, gyama karma dhyanaavrita. So it means that we have to follow both aspects, anvaya and vyatireka. So the words nadanam najanam in this verse clearly explain the symptoms of vyatireka. The word dhan refers to wealth and articles collected for enjoyment and entertainment. And jana indicates women, children, servants, maidservants, subjects, friends, and relatives. Of course, also men, in the case of the sadhikas. Sundari Kavita means the ordinary knowledge expressed in mundane poetry and literature. O Krishna, Lord of my life, I am not praying to you for all these things. My only prayer is that I may have unalloyed devotion unto your lotus feet, birth after birth. I have this experience because before I become a devotee, I was a poet. I used to write many things. And when I came across this verse, then I realized, what am I trying to do? Trying to describe life, describe the world according to my own limited knowledge. And then I thought, there is no need more to write anything, just I have to learn from the Vaishnavas what is the real knowledge, what is the real poetry. And then since then I stopped writing anything. The only thing that I wrote was Srila Gurudev's Pranama Mantra since then. But in future, if Gurudev and Krishna gives me more inspiration, then maybe I can write more poetry about Krishna, about Radha, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also with all the knowledge that I have acquired from the Vedas. Now text number 2. Misusing material wealth is opposed to bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.9.6 states, as long as a person does not take shelter of your lotus feet, which remove all kinds of fear, he will be tormented by anxiety, sorrow, hankering, wretchedness, extreme greed, and so forth, caused by wealth, home, friends, and relatives. You maintain the misconception of I and mine, which is the sole cause of unhappiness. So here in the verse is saying that you may have wealth, you may have home, you may have friends. There is no problem in that. The problem is when you are not taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet and not becoming his servant. As soon as you take shelter of Krishna, you begin to resignify everything that you have and you start to engage everything in Krishna Seva. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya. Persons who have never heard Harikatha are not inclined to serve Sri Hari. They use their time, wealth, and energy in mundane activities and maintain the misconception that I am the enjoyer. They will suffer due to their inclination to enjoy. In other words, although they are in distress, they still endeavor to obtain that which is unrelated to Shri Krishna. The sole cause of this is illusion. Forgetting that Krishna is their only near and dear friend, they establish friendship with persons averse to Shri Krishna and remain fearful of the devotees. It is only by the merciful disposition of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas that the living entity can be delivered from these sufferings and the desire to serve the Supreme Lord can arise in his heart. In other words, the inclination to serve Sri Bhagavan will manifest in his heart. The living entity then realizes his own intrinsic nature as well as the intrinsic natures of the Supreme Lord and the illusory energy, and engages all his senses in serving Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur sings in Sharanagati the song Atmanivedan. Atmanivedan tuya pade kori hoinu parama sukhi dukha dure gelo chintana rohilo chodike ananda dekhi. By surrendering myself to your lotus feet, I have become supremely happy. All suffering has gone far away, and I have no more worries. Now I see happiness in all directions. Now text number 3. Shri Krishna is the Supreme Lord of all lords, and by worshipping him, all others are worshipped. Srimad Bhagavatam 4:31-14 states, Jatha tharor mulla nischanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujo pashakha pranopahara cha yatendriyanam tateva sarvahanam achutteja. By watering the root of a tree, all its parts, such as the trunk, branches, and sub-branches, are nourished. And by satisfying the life heirs through eating, all of the senses are nourished. Similarly, only by worshipping Shri Krishna are the demigods, the forefathers, and so forth worshipped. This is a very famous verse, and it is a very clear teaching by saying that in the same way that when you put water in the root of the tree, the whole tree is nourished. And as you put food in your stomach, your whole body is nourished. You also, when worship Krishna, all the creation, including the demigods, the forefathers, everything is also being worshipped. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya. By watering the root of a tree, all of its parts, such as the trunk, branches, leaves, and fruits, obtain nourishment. By putting food in the stomach, all the different bodily limbs are satisfied and nourished. Similarly, by performing exclusive worship of Achyuta, all the demigods and goddesses are also worshipped. So similarly, by performing exclusive worship of Achyuta, all the demigods and goddesses are also worshipped. This is because Achyuta is the root cause of all consciousness, and all conscious and unconscious matter is dependent on him. Swayam Bhagavan is the only one who is infallible, Achyuta, and he can never become fallible, Chuta. Here someone may ask, what harm is there in worshipping both Sri Bhagavan and the demigods and demigoddesses at the same time? The answer is that such worship signifies a lack of firm faith in the Supreme Lord. The demigods and goddesses are ruled by material qualities, while the process of serving Bhagavan is transcendental. It is improper to disrespect the demigods and goddesses, but it is also incorrect to elevate them to the same level as Shri Krishna. The scriptures state that one who gives up Krishna bhajan to worship the demigods and goddesses is like one who gives up his mother to worship an outcast woman, or like one who gives up nectar to drink poison. So if someone asks you to worship any demigod, and you say, okay, let us do it, it will take only 5 minutes, then after I continue worshipping Krishna, then you are using your time for bhajan, for Krishna bhajan, to worship demigods, and this is not being authorized. If you spend 5 minutes with demigods, means you are stopping your Krishna bhajan, you are giving up your Krishna bhajan to worship them, and this is not allowed. So what to speak for whole life? 5 minutes every day. How many minutes in your whole life you have dedicated to the worship of demigods? So therefore, those who are worshipping only the Supreme Lord, they are not recommended to worship any demigod. You can just pay your pranam and that's it. But no puja, no worship. Now text 4. One-pointed devotees have no other duty than serving Shri Krishna. The Padma Purana states, the Lord of all demigods, Shri Hari, is always the only worshipable object, but it is improper to disrespect Brahma, Rudra, and other demigods. So you have to notice that here he is mentioning the word Rudra. Rudra is an expansion of Shiva, who is actually a demigod. So Rudra is a demigod, but Sadashiva is not a demigod. Now text 5. One should not increase the number of his unqualified disciples on the pretext of spreading bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.13.8 states, one should not make many disciples for material gain, nor study many books, nor give discourses on the scriptures to earn one's livelihood. One should also give up large undertakings. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya. While explaining the duty of a sannyasi Devarishi Narada said to Yudhishthira Maharaj, a sannyasi should roam about, be devoted to Narayana, and be the well-wisher of all living entities. He should not engage in any occupation to maintain his life, nor should he engage in discussions only for the sake of a debate. So what does it mean here, not to engage in discussions for debate? It is in the same category of Lolya in Upadeshamrita, which is mentioned, not to try to prove your own opinion to be right. Of course, when there is an important debate to prove what the scriptures are saying, then of course we have to engage ourselves. He should only accept objects that come through begging or bhiksha. He should not be attached to literature that discusses temporary material subject matters, nor for material benefit should he give mantras to unqualified persons to increase the number of his disciples. This is a very sensitive subject, and we see that some sannyasis are doing that. We see among some sannyasis a type of competition to see who will make more disciples. They start initiating unqualified people from the very first meeting. So this is not allowed according to the scriptures. Now, he should not show his scholarly talent, but rather he should study literature on bhakti and put these teachings into practice. It is unfavorable to pure devotion and also a waste of time to establish and maintain large temples to make a show of opulence. Many kinds of unqualified persons will take shelter of such temples, and their devious activities will defame the society of sadhus. Saintly persons should perform bhajan under the guidance of their superiors, following the path designated by the disciplic succession, parampara. Only a sadhaka on the platform of bhav is qualified to make disciples, and he does so only for the welfare of society and the protection of the sampradaya. The scriptures forbid unqualified persons from taking disciples. But of course, this point is also presented even by Srila Gurudeva himself in different way, in some other places. So therefore, this quote here of Srila Gurudeva, this is actually coming from Narada Rishi himself, not from Gurudev. This is under quotation marks. So this is from Narada Rishi. Srila Gurudev has also given the permission for Madhyamadikaris to give initiation, even though they are not in a stage of bhava. The ideal is the person must be a Mahabhagavat on the stage of bhava. But if we do not find such a person, then Madhyamadikaris can do. So anyway, this is the rules and regulations for the sadhus and how to maintain ashram, how to make disciples. This is very important. Text 6. Exclusive and unmotivated devotional service, known as Aikantik Ahaituki Bhakti, is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:2-14. Tasmadekena manasa bhagavam sadatang pati shattavyakritavyascha deya pujascha nityada. With an attentive mind, one should constantly hear about, glorify, meditate upon, and worship Bhagavan, who is loving towards his devotees. All the while, one should endeavor to remove his anarthas. Then his creeper of devotion will very quickly bestow its fruit in the form of prema. This verse is very, very important verse. This is in the conversation of Sutta Goswami and Shonaka Rishi. So it's a very important in the sequence of questions and answers between them. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya. All religious duties are observed for the pleasure of Sri Hari. Therefore, the living entity's only duty is to single-mindedly engage in Krishna bhajan while giving up the desire for karma and jnana. For the pleasure of Sri Hari, he should reside in the Dhamma with a resolute mind and hear narrations about Sri Hari from Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. The method of cultivating pure bhajan is that after hearing Harikatha, one should perform kirtan and smaran of those narrations. What does it mean? It means that you have to repeat what you have heard from Guru and Vaishnavas. By this method, anarthas are nullified and pure bhajan arises. This is the essence of all instruction for sadhakas. Now text 7. One should not be disturbed by the loss of acquired assets. In this regard, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-114 quotes the Padma Purana. One who is devoted to Hari Bhakti should remain undisturbed and continue remembering Sri Hari, even if he is unsuccessful in obtaining food and clothing, or if what he has obtained is lost. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. When the living entity attains taste, ruchi, for Bhagavad Katha and Harinam, he no longer has an attachment to worldly things. He is satisfied with only the cloth and food necessary to protect and sustain his body. If he gains or loses anything, his mind remains steady. His mood is that whatever is obtained or lost is the Lord's desire. He knows that gain, loss, and so forth come according to one's previous karma. Detached from worldly matters, he remembers Sri Bhagavan's name with a steady mind. So, what Srila Gurudev is saying is that those who have developed ruchi, taste for bhakti, they would not be upset by the results of their activities. They will always endeavor to improve their bhajan. They will always endeavor to improve their quality of life. But the result of that is given by Krishna. So whatever Krishna gives, they accept. Now text number 8. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-115, quoting from the Padma Purana, mentions the necessity of giving up distress. How can Mukunda manifest in the heart of a person who is filled with lamentation, anger, and so forth? Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. Mukunda never manifests in a heart that becomes agitated by pleasure upon obtaining something temporary or distress upon losing it. In this way, the living entity remains oblivious to Bhagavan. One should follow the character of Sriman Mahaprabhu's devotees and, guided by their mood, remain peaceful and steady in every situation. In this regard, one should follow the example of Srivas Pandit. Once, Sriman Mahaprabhu and his devotees were performing kirtan in Srivas Pandit's home, when inside the house, Srivas' son left his body. Srivas remained calm and strictly forbade the ladies and other persons in the house to cry, to ensure that Mahaprabhu's kirtan would not be disturbed. He did not even relate the news of his son's death to Mahaprabhu. With such a fixed and peaceful mind, one should remember and meditate upon the Supreme Lord. This is the purport of Shastra. Now text 9. One should accept only as much wealth as is necessary to obtain one's life. The Naradiya Purana, quoted in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-108, states, a sadhaka who needs to maintain himself will collect only as much wealth and other material necessities as are required to maintain his bhakti. To accept too much or too little will surely make him deviate from his goal. So, why to collect too little will deviate him from his goal? Because if he is unable to eat properly, if he is unable to pay the bills of the temple or of his home, whatever, that will create another type of distress. If the preacher, he gives too much and takes only little in turn, he's going to feel discouraged in the future. So therefore, he should always get more than what he's giving. So he will feel inspired and he will be able to continue serving even more. So can you imagine if Srila Prabhupada was collecting too little? What would happen? He would never make his mission. So one time also Srila Prabhupada mentioned, Srila Swami Prabhupada, he mentioned that if people want to hear our Harikatha, they can come to temple and this is free. But if we are invited to some venue, some outside program, people, they should pay. Because when they pay, they give value and they appreciate more. Also, if you collect too much, that can bewilder your mind and make you feel that you are a very powerful person, that you can buy whatever you want. Then this is very also like obstacle for your bhakti. So we should not accumulate. We should spend whatever comes in service, in projects, and then more will come. And then you spend again. But don't accumulate and keep money frozen in bank. I'm speaking about the preachers, okay? I'm not speaking for Grihastas. Because Srila Bhakti Swarup Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj, he wrote some type of a list of advices. In one of them, he explains that if you keep Lakshmi in the bank and don't make it flow, don't make it circulate, she will stop coming. So sannyasis, brahmacharis, they should not accumulate. They should spend and make Lakshmi to circulate, come and go, come and go. Because Lakshmi wants to serve. Lakshmi wants to serve Krishna. Lakshmi is not meant to stay sitting in the bank. She does not like that. But Grihastas, they are different category. They should keep safe money because they are earning and they have to maintain family and many things like that. But sannyasis, brahmacharis, they don't need to have worries about that because their savings are actually the Grihastha's savings. Whenever they need, they can collect and they will get, no problem. Because if they start to accumulate, that will give them desire to become Grihasthas afterwards. So, if we always using Lakshmi in service of Krishna, then the mission is progressing, the mission is expanding, and Lakshmi would never stop coming. And this was the mentality of Srila Swami Prabhupada. He used whatever money was needed to expand more and more the mission and to serve Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada's mission, Srila Swami Prabhupada's mission, it is like a mother for all Vaishnavas. He's taking care of everyone. He takes care of us even more than Gurudev does. I can speak that without any concern. When I'm taking groups to India for tour, for like new people, we only stay nearby ISKCON. We don't stay nearby Gaudiya Math. Because nearby ISKCON you have all facilities. You have proper food. You have nice kirtan. You have nice environment, like friendly environment, comfortable environment, beautiful environment. Everything people need. But near Gaudiya Math, we don't have proper food. We don't have proper shelter. We don't have nice kirtan, nice programs. Everything is dirty. Everything is broken. So new people, very difficult to bring. They will never feel comfortable in such an environment. So all the money is kept in bank. The money is not being spent to serve the devotees, to the betterment of the mission, to make things better. No, it's not. Everything is kept there in the fear that it may shorten in the future. So in this way, we cannot compare what Srila Swami Prabhupada gave to the whole world, how he is taking care of everyone. No one can compare to him. So in this way, Srila Swami Prabhupada is like our mother. He's nourishing, protecting everyone. So whenever I had the opportunity to manage something in Gaudiya Math, I was managing like Srila Swami Prabhupada gave example. For example, when I was in Bengal preaching, in the beginning I was just part of the group. And one time I asked to the manager, I say, I need some soap to wash my clothes. And he answered, oh, the mission is not in the position to give soap to anyone. You have to manage by yourself. I was a very new brahmachari. I had no money. I had nothing. I was in the middle of the jungle in Bengal. And I asked only for a small soap. And what answer I got? Every day collecting so much money, going from house to house, from morning to evening, giving everything to the mission, not keeping 1 rupee for me. But then when I need something, I have again to find money. Where I will find money? Also, how to eat properly. As a foreign person, we don't eat like Bengalis. It was very difficult to cook something separated because there was no facilities also. So every day I had to cook separate for the Western devotees. But sometimes we need something different. Sometimes we need some oats, some porridge. Sometimes we need something, like different. We cannot stay 3 months in the village only eating rice, dal and sabji. Our bodies are not made like that. But the managers say, we cannot provide anything. We don't have money for that. But he had everything for himself because he was collecting money from abroad. So he had a lot of money. So he had so many nice things, nice foodstuffs. Whatever he needed, he was having everything for him. So I thought this is not proper. This is not like we should manage. So When I became the manager 2 years later, then everything was different. With all the money we were collecting, first of all, I made sure that all my brahmacharis, they had everything they needed. And then after that, whatever was left, then I kept to give to the mission. So all brahmacharis had very nice food, very nice, items, whatever they wanted, everything was supplied very nice. So everyone was happy. We have to understand the most valuable asset of a mission are the people in the mission. So if you don't take care of people, how you expect that your mission is going to grow and develop? So this is, in very few Gaudiya Maths we see a little bit of this, a little bit. And others even we don't see anything like this. Also, I became very sick one time and I had no support from the mission. I had to collect whatever I could from different devotees. I was a brahmachari, simple brahmachari. Yeah. But of course, this happened after Srila Gurudev left, not when Gurudev was present. When Gurudev was present, everything was available. Whatever he could do, he always did. But the point is that Gurudev he was not willing to manage anything. He was only willing to finish his books. That was his goal. So he gave the management task to other devotees. But after Gurudev left, everything changed. So we have to understand that money means Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is there to serve, not to be kept in the bank. So if I compare myself to many senior brahmacharis or sannyasis from my time, they have much more money in the bank than me. But because I'm always spending, looks like I am much more rich than them. Because I don't keep, whatever comes I spend, I'm serving all the time. Many projects, many things I'm buying, helping devotees here and there, whatever. I'm always using for service. I'm not keeping. But I don't have much. But because I am always using, people see. And then they think I have so much, but it's not true. And those who never use, they always keep in the bank, they have so much in the bank. I know, brahmacharis, they have lakhs and lakhs of rupees in the bank, but they use very broken, torn type of t-shirt, very old type of clothes, just to look simple. But I know they have lakhs and lakhs in the bank. And they will never use 1 rupee to help in the temple, to buy something for the temple, to, serve the mission like this. They will always demand, the mission has to serve me, the mission has to maintain me. But one thing I learned when I came to Srila Gurudev is that the mission should depend on me, not the opposite. Means I have to serve the mission, not the mission has to serve me. So Gurudev used to give instructions also. Gurudev said, brahmacharis, sannyasis, they should collect and they should keep for them something for their maintenance, and whatever is left they should give me, because I will engage in seva. But I have also heard Srila Gurudev complaining by saying, I thought that by giving sannyasi to them, they would help me to maintain the mission, but they don't give me any money. So this is the situation. This is the condition. So therefore, Srila Swami Prabhupada, for me, he is in highest position. He was never counting money and saving money. Therefore, ISKCON is growing so fast and so big, because everyone takes care of each other. So everyone wants to live in an environment that everyone is taking care of each other and then protect each other. Everyone likes this type of environment. They're not worried about money. If money will not come in future, no, they're not worried. They're spending millions and millions, and more millions are coming. There is no shortage. Like Srila Bhakti Daita Madhava Goswami Maharaj. He was also being criticized by some of his god brothers when he was spending money for Vaishnava Seva. He used to spend also lakhs and lakhs of rupees to serve the Vaishnavas. And some god brothers used to come and say, why you spend so much money giving food, cloth for so many devotees? You keep this money, then you can build another ashram. You can, do something like that. So this is called miserness. We should not be like that. We should always try to serve the Vaishnavas. Make the life of people better. This should be our goal. So now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya. A person qualified for Vaidya Bhakti should earn money to maintain his life through prescribed virtuous means, that is, according to Varnashram Dharma. It is auspicious to accept assets only according to one's needs. Craving to accept more than necessary creates attachment, which will gradually destroy one's bhajan. Accepting less than necessary is also harmful, as this will create an insufficiency, which in turn will weaken one's bhajan. Therefore, as long as a person is not indifferent to material things, he should cultivate pure bhakti and accept only those assets that are required to maintain his life. So continue with the text 10. The symptoms of advancement in unmotivated devotional service are given in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42. Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir anyatra chaistrik kaika kalaha prapadyam manasya jatassanatashyus pushti pushti kush apayo nugasam. This is a very famous and important verse from Bhagavatam. With each morsel of food a hungry person eats, he simultaneously experiences satisfaction, nourishment, and relief from hunger. Similarly, a surrendered devotee who is engaged in the performance of bhakti simultaneously realizes his worshipable deity, strengthens his relationship with that deity, and becomes detached from this temporary world and material relationships. So this verse says that gradually, by and by, as we practice, we are bound to be successful in our practice. Means there are three symptoms of the process of bhakti. Just like there are three symptoms when you are eating. So, Srila Gurudev is going to explain in the commentary, Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. The symptoms observed in a sadhaka who has directly experienced the sweetness of the Supreme Lord are described in this verse. In such devotees, three symptoms are simultaneously visible. First, attainment of service to the Lord. Second, realization of all knowledge related to bhakti. And third, detachment from matters unrelated to Shri Krishna. The sadhaka develops detachment from those items of enjoyment that are not useful in the service of Shri Krishna. But he does not develop detachment from that which can be used in his service. Because he does not consider using such objects for his own pleasure, there is no need for him to renounce them. So it means that we are not followers of complete detachment from the world. We are followers of to be attached to everything related to Krishna. So it's much more easy to try to become attached to Krishna than try to become detached from everything else. So just try to increase your bhakti. Don't try to increase your detachment from the material world because you are going to fail. So then continue with the purport. When due to humility, Srila Sanatana Goswami resolved to give up his life by throwing himself under the wheel of Lord Jagannath's chariot, Sri Gaura Sundara, who resides in everyone's heart as a super soul, told him that a person cannot attain Shri Krishna merely by giving up his body. Krishna is only attained through bhajan, that is, through fulfilling the inner desire of one's guru, Manobhishta Seva. So in this case, how can we understand that Mahaprabhu is acting as a guru of Sanatana Goswami Pad? So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying to Sanatana Goswami Pad that you have to follow my order, not to try to just give up your life as if it's going to give any good result. So then Srila Gurudev is saying, when the sadhaka surrenders to Sri Guru's lotus feet, the Guru becomes the owner of the sadhaka's body. Therefore, when one acknowledges his body to be his Guru's property, it is necessary to take care of it. In the same mood, the Brajadevis decorate their bodies with clothes, ornament, cosmetics, only for service to Shri Krishna. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami Pad, your body is not your body, it belongs to me. Therefore, you cannot do whatever you want with this. This is my body. So indifference to material objects develops according to the extent of one's realization of Sri Bhagavan. This indifference gives one the qualification to attain the direct service of the Supreme Lord. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami states in Vilapa Kusumanjali, number 6, Vairag Yug Bhakti Rasam Prayatner apayayam mam anabhipsum andam kripam budirya paradukkaduki sanatanatam prabhum ashrayami. I surrender to the lotus feet of my master, Sri Sanatana Goswami, who is the bestower of Sambandha Jnana. He is an ocean of mercy, and his heart always becomes distressed upon seeing the suffering of others. Although due to the darkness of ignorance, I had no desire to taste bhakti ras, imbued with renunciation, he forced me to taste it, and thereby gave me knowledge of my relationship with Shri Krishna. So, this verse is very beautiful, and Raghunath Das Goswami, he is glorifying Srila Sanatana Goswami by saying that he is paradukka dukhi, means he is always suffering because of others' sufferings. And he's also declaring that Sanatana Goswami Pada, he is the Sambandha Acharya. He's the one who is establishing the relationship with Krishna. So Sanatana Goswami Pada with Madan Mohan is the Sambandha Acharya. Then Rupa Goswami Pad with Govinda Dev, Abhideya. And Raghunath Das Goswami with Gopinath as the Prayojana Acharya. But the only difference is that Raghunath Das Goswami, he did not establish Gopinath. Gopinath was established by Madhu Pandit. But Gopinath represents the Prayojan as well as Raghunath Das Goswami also. So now text 11. The following verse is a petition made at a stage of humility described in the previous text. Prahlada Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.39 prays, Naitam manas tava katassu vaikuntanat sampriyate durita dushtam asadutti vram kamaturam harsha shoka bhayasanartam tasmin katam tavagatim vimrishami dinaha. O Vaikuntanatha, my mind is polluted by the desire to sin. How can I explain to you the suffering of my mind, which is constantly afflicted by desires? My mind is strongly attached to these desires, is sometimes overpowered by happiness and sometimes by distress and fear. It is always engaged in collecting wealth and material assets, and finds no taste in the narrations of your pastimes. How then can I remember and meditate upon you? Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. When steady devotion arises in the heart of a sadhaka, a mood of natural humility manifests. Out of greed to constantly relish the sweetness of the Supreme Lord, he repents, Alas, alas, I have not performed any sadhana bhajan. My heart is sinful and my mind is weak, and therefore I left the merciful Lord and am drowned in the ditch of material enjoyment. How will I be able to relish the nectar of Swamini's lotus feet? O Lord, how can I develop affection for your form, qualities, and pastimes? How can I obtain a taste for bhajan? Firmly bound by many kinds of illicit desires, I am drowned in the ocean of material existence. Oh, how can I protect myself from all this? O Bhagavan, I have become a servant of the 6 enemies. How can I, who am unintelligent and devoted to material desires, understand the boundless, eternal, and deep truth about you? So, this Chaturyama chapter, this is about ruchi, taste. So this is a prayer to get taste. This is a prayer for ruchi. So this kind of humility arises when bhakti is fully ripe. In reality, fully mature prema is humility. Considering himself to be extremely fallen and wretched, the sadhaka always offers Sri Bhagavan various humble and grief-stricken prayers. So the difference between a pure devotee and the real fallen devotees is that he is praying like this, saying that he is very fallen and wretched, but in fact he is not. But the real fallen devotees, they should also pray like this, but the difference is that this is true, this is real. So now text 12. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.40 explains how life is completely destroyed by attraction to the form, taste, and so on of material objects. O Achyuta, my tongue is pulling me towards delicious flavors, my genitals towards beautiful women, my stomach towards foodstuffs that are harmful, my ears towards sweet songs and useless talk, my nose towards pleasant fragrances, my eyes towards beauty, and my sense of touch towards soft things. In this way, all my sense organs are pulling me towards their respective sense objects. O Nandana, my situation is like that of a man with many wives, each dragging him towards her own bedroom. In such a condition, how can I remember you and your form, qualities, and pastimes? Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. The sadhaka is praying to Sri Bhagavan with great humility. O Lord, let my mind always be completely attached to your lotus feet and engage in glorifying you. O Achyuta, although I am trying to control my senses by innumerable endeavors, I have not been successful. Alas, what shall I do? My unsatisfied tongue, genitals, belly, ears, nose, restless eyes, and sense of touch, drawing me in the direction of their respective sense objects, sound, form, taste, smell, and touch, and are thus destroying me. O Prabhu, although I have tried my best to subdue them, I have not succeeded. My condition is like that of a man who, controlled by lust, has married several wives. Now all these wives are dragging him in their own direction, each wanting her lustful desires fulfilled. He is not able to pacify the fire of their lust, nor do they leave him alone. The more this lusty man tries in various ways to satisfy the desires of these ladies, the less successful he is. So why is that? Why he is not successful in satisfying the wives? Because these desires are endless. So he will never be able to fulfill completely and stop that desire. It will always come again and again, more and more. Similarly, I endeavored in many ways, but all in vain. O protector of the helpless, now you are my only shelter. I have faith in you alone. By the power of your mercy, please deliver me from the entanglement of this material existence, and thus make your name, Patit Pavana, meaningful. So by remembering Patit Pavana, today's Lord Jagannath's appearance, today is the Snana Yatra festival. Srila Gurudeva used to say Jagannath's Mahaprasad is the most powerful prasadam among all deities. So today we are remembering the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath and pray for his causeless mercy. Vancha kalpatarvesha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.